Hello everyone, Squee here, and welcome to Let's Play Joe Dever's Lone Wolf HD Remastered version. Now, for those of you who have been longtime viewers of mine, you will hopefully remember my Lone Wolf series. I never quite finished it. I might get around to finishing it because it's something worth finishing. But it was basically a let's read, not a let's play so much. Lone Wolf books were game books made back in the 80s. Think Choose Your Own Adventure. I'm sure most of you have heard of what Choose Your Own Adventure is, but imagine Choose Your Own Adventure books taken to an extreme level. You had inventory systems, you had money, you had skills that your character could choose, you had choices to make, and combat with hit points and items that would help you, and all of this was written into a book, and it was beautifully done. And the best part about it was that there were 20-some-odd books in the main Lone Wolf series, and they were all a connected story. You could start with the first Lone Wolf book and read through all of them, and it would be the same Lone Wolf getting stronger and stronger. And actually reading the previous books helped in future books. It was a marvelous system, especially for me as a kid. I grew up in the 80s. I started collecting them in the 90s. And it was something that I spent years, this was my hobby as a young, 11, 12-year-old boy, was to find these Lone Wolf books. And back then that was really hard. We didn't have eBay. We didn't have online stores. I literally had to just comb bookstores looking for these books. And so it holds a special place in my heart. The Lone Wolf series truly does hold a special place in my heart. Not the least of which because it's just well written. So it comes as a bit of surprise that this one flew a bit under the radar for me. This game, I think I'd heard of it, but I never really paid much attention to it for one reason or another. I think maybe I didn't know that Joe Dever was involved, or that it was supposed to be similar to the old Lone Wolf books. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, this flew under my radar for a long time. But it is here now, and I'm very, very excited to play it. I have experienced a little of this. I did so in a stream about a week back when my computer was busted and all I could play was laptops. And I played a little bit of it. Maybe like an hour's worth of it, and I loved it, and I really thought that it deserved its own full-fledged Let's Play. And since I can't do any of my main Let's Plays at the moment because my hard drive is getting data recovered, fingers crossed, I thought this would be a good thing to do instead. So, that said, before we get into it too much, I'm going to treat this much like the other ones. Now, basically, a lot of this is text-based, so I will be reading a lot. So if the sound of my voice is not something you enjoy, be prepared for that. I'm not quite sure why you're on the channel if that's the case. But hey, I like to not assume things. There is a combat system, which is kind of fun, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning a lot about this game and what it has to offer. With that said, I plan on doing basically two versions of this. The first version is just going to be me by myself, not streamed, so that I can really get immersed in the story. Because these are good stories, at least the books are, and I'm hoping since Joe Dever is involved in this, that this one will be good too. And that way I want to do this by myself so I can get immersed, and so you guys can see me get immersed and really give it the serious run-through it deserves. Then I'm gonna get Piff on board, who also loves these books, and whenever Piff and I get together and read these books, we get crazy with the books. It gets really funny, really hilarious, and I want to do that too. I just felt that this book deserves a serious run through first, and then Piff and I can go to town on it. And I plan on uploading both of those, so you'll have both options for you. And Piff will make all the choices in the second run-through, so it'll still be different and be interesting to see what he chooses. Alright, so, with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. Now, someone asked if I could turn the music off so that they could listen to their own music. I thought about it, but I'm actually going to say no. And the reason is because I actually really enjoy the music here. And I don't know how long this game is, but I assume it's a good chunk of time. And I'd rather, if I can, I'd rather be able to listen to music while I play it. So I am going to just keep the music on. I'm sorry if that bothers you guys too much, but it's really good music, so hopefully it won't be a big problem. I've already messed with the options, but we are going to take a look at the extras, because for anyone who hasn't read the Lone Wolf Saga or watched my Let's Play, or I think Grimmith R did a Let's Play of it too, it's good to know the history. And this the extras actually have they have a little bit on the author, Joe Dever. I won't bore you too much with Actually, I've not read this, so maybe I will. Joe Dever is an award-winning author and game designer who began his career as a musician and recording engineer. In 1976, he created the fictional world of Magnamund as a setting for his early role-playing games. In 1982, he became an RPG world champion. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. I don't even know what that means, but good job. He can imagine with the best of them. In 1984, his original series of Lone Wolf adventure game books were first published and became an international success. They have sold over 10 million copies worldwide. From 1996 onwards, Joe has been involved in the design, scripting, and production of several successful computer and console games. So that's cool. Nice. But anyway, there's a codex that gives you like notable people and notable people, monsters, geography. Geography, maybe we'll take a look at. No, I think that's stuff we learn in game. Notable monsters and creatures we'll take a look at maybe as we run into them. But what I'm going to concentrate on is history, recent history, the god Kai, the Summer Sword, and the goddess Ishir, because this is the background stuff. And if you don't know anything about this, it'd be nice to have some background stuff. So, general history. In the northern land of Summerland, for centuries, it was customary for its people to send exceptional children to the monastery of the Kai. There, they developed their special talents under the tutelage of the Kai Lords, and they were taught the Kai disciplines of their noble ancestors. You are Lone Wolf, and you are now the last Kai Lord of Summerland. The year is MS 5053. It is a little over 3 years since your beloved homeland was invaded by the ancient enemy of your people, the Dark Lords of Helgedad. Their initial assault destroyed the Kai Monastery and wiped out your brave warrior order. Only you survived. You made a perilous journey to Holmgard, the capital of Summerland, where King Unlar V sent you upon a desperate quest for help overseas. Your mission was fraught with great dangers and great urgency, for Summerland was swiftly being overrun by the armies of the Darklands. During your quest, you learned that your country had been betrayed by one of its own magicians, Vonatar the traitor. His agents were abroad, seeking to kill you at every opportunity, but your skill and determination crushed their evil aims. You returned to Holmgard at the head of the great fleet of allies, and you destroyed the Dark Lord Zagarna, the enemy leader, before the great gates of Holmgard. Much of Summerland was ruined during the invasion. The rich farmlands were laid waste and many towns and villages were razed to the ground. But the Summerlanding are a tough and resilient breed, and they were undaunted by the enormity of the tasks that lay before them. They set about to rebuilding Summerland with such vigor and determination that now only a few of the scars inflicted by Zagarna and his mighty army are still visible. For the crucial part you played in the great victory, the king bestowed upon you the rank and title of Freyjarl of Summerland. It has elevated you into the ranks of Summerlanding nobility, a rare honor for one so young. The ruins of the Kai Monastery are much of the surrounding rich timberlands have become Freyland under your ownership and protection. So, this takes place after, I'd say, the first 2 or 3 books in the series. The first book is you trying to get to Holmgard to warn everyone of the invasion. The second book is you going on the quest for the Summer Sword and defeating the Darkland armies. The third book is you going after Vonatar the traitor, the person this mentioned who betrayed your lands. Now, it says recent history, so it might talk a little bit about that, but basically this is about 3 years after the first book and only a few books in. Now, I know this is different from the actual books in the series, so I assume this fits in between maybe like the 3rd and the 4th book, or the 4th and the 5th book. It has to be before the 5th book, because at the end of the 5th book you become Magnikai, which is a whole different level. I know, I'm like so geeking out about this. I would say this, if this stuff interests you, I'll try and leave a link in the description to all of the Lone Wolf books can be played online. And actually, there have been some really great computer programs that help automate it. Joe Dever was really, really gracious, and basically a few years ago, he made all his books not public domain, but free to the public. So you can go to this place, Project Aeon, and read all of the Lone Wolf series for free. And I really suggest you do that. They are great, great books. So, and plus, it's like playing a game. Let's take a look at recent history. Okay, hang on. So this is, excuse me, this is probably the story so far for this game. What the events that brought about this game. So I doubt this is going to talk about hunting down Vonatar the traitor, or if that's even happened yet. We'll assume that's happened. And this is in between, say, the third and fourth book, unless we hear otherwise. While you were attending the reconstruction of the Kai Monastery, a Summerlunding border ranger paid you an unexpected visit. He had some worrying news to report. Whilst on a routine patrol in the northern Derncrag Mountains, he saw many Geks in the area of the sunken forest close to Rockstarn. He counted more than 50 in number. He was fearful that it may be a prelude to an attack on the mining settlement, Rockstarn. Excuse me. On the mining settlement. Rockstarn lies within the territorial boundaries of your Freyland, the land you own. In keeping with the feudal laws of Summerlund, you are the lord of this village, and the villagers are beholden to you. You receive a tithe, or tax, levied on their born trade. With this money, you have been able to rebuild parts of your destroyed Kai Monastery. As Lord of Rockstarn, you are duty-bound to protect the village and its people. You instructed the border ranger to go to Holmgard and make his report directly to the king. As soon as he departed, you made preparations for your journey to Rockstarn. You were determined to warn the villagers and help them prepare to defend their homes from Gak attack. It might be Gayak. I really don't know. I've always just called him Gak, but it might be Gayak. I really am unsure on that. Just so you know. So that's what leading up to the start of this story. Alright? Then we've got the god Kai. The god Kai represents the sun and the light of Magnamund, and he casts his radiant gaze over all the lands, save that of the Darklands. His symbol is a fiery sun, and is used extensively on the flags and battle banners of Summerlund. He is looked upon as a god of strength, courage, and manly virtue. Hang on a second. Okay. His best devoted followers are an order of exceptional Summerlunding who have taken his name to describe themselves in their noble order, the Kai Lords. There are formal and informal churches to God Kai throughout Magnamund. These are often signified by a golden sun disk suspended over a plain wooden altar. The golden sun's rays spread out to signify Kai's eternal power and strength, his benevolent protection and succor. There are also way shrines in the wild, and these are often the target of petty vandals and cowardly agents of the Dark Lords. Some minor altars are placed in villages, usually in a particular location that receives the most sunlight. Kai is also associated with rebirth, and thusly his warrior priests are firm believers in the return of life upon the Great Sun Wheel. The cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth is at the core of their beliefs, and they signify this by praying at the first light of each new day, midday, and last light of dusk, knowing that the night will not last forever, and they shall be reborn upon the following morn. The Kai Lords do not proselytize their religion. They simply draw power from their belief and inspire others by their goodly actions. The followers of the Kai are dedicated individuals, sure in the knowledge that their God is real and righteous. They seek to bring the light of Kai to others in the same way that their God spreads his benevolence upon the land during each new day. The Kai is the companion of Ishir, the moon goddess. These two gods are known as the gods of light, and they oppose the power of Nar, the god of darkness, who's a bad mamma-jamma. Let me tell you, Nar is a bad mamma-jamma. Alright, the Summersword. And no, I'm actually not mispronouncing that. I always thought it was just Summersword, but according to the intro of this game, it's the Summersword. Alright, the legend of the Sword of the Sun was gifted by God Kai to Kaian, the first Summerlunding king. It was later used by King Unlar I to slay Dark Lord Vashna. You retrieve this divine blade in Durinor. After a long and difficult quest, you return to Holmgard in time to slay the Dark Lord Zargana. Now that was book 2, and it was a really cool book. Slay the Dark Lord Zargana before the city gates with a torrent of its pure fire. It is a powerful weapon, but it should be used thoughtfully and sparingly. When unsheathed, its power will draw enemies to you like moths to a flame. Which is so true. There have been entire books where you've had to encase its power because otherwise you'd be screwed. Okay, cool. So we'll get more of this as we go along. Let's take a look at the goddess Ishir. Ishir is the most widely revered deity of good among Magnamund. She is associated with motherhood, fraternity, comfort, and abundance. She has many priests and followers throughout northern and southern Magnamund. Her colors are silver and sky blue, and devotees often wear a tiny moon pendant in her honor. She is known to take a guiding hand, with or without consent, in the passing of spirits from the world, and she constantly battles alongside God Kai to prevent the forces of the evil god Nar from taking complete control of Magnamund. Okay, so that's a bit of the history and culture. I'm sure we'll get more as we go along, but how about we jump into the game, shall we? Actually, no, wait, we can take a look at Rockstarn, because we know about that now. So, let's take a look at Rockstarn. Rockstarn is a remote mining community located in the high mountains near the border with the Darklands. The Sunken Forest, a yawning expanse of sunken ground, densely forested, is all that separates Rockstarn from the forbidding Darklands watchtower of Vatag on the far side. Despite the constant threat of raids and incursions by Gak warrior parties from the Darklands, the village and its inhabitants have thrived from the extraction and smelting of valuable ore from their mines. And then we'll take a look at the mines. The mines near Rockstarn produce Bornen ore, from which valuable and versatile metal Born is extracted. The villagers mine the ore and smelt it into ingots. Then they use the pure ingots of Bornen to fashion high-quality pieces of armor and shields. Traditionally, their wares are sent to Holmgard for use by the king's army, but they also produce Kai armor for the Kai monastery, until it was destroyed at the start of the Darklands invasion, MS 5050. The main entrance to the Born mines is located at the base of the sunken forest, closed by a steam-powered elevator that transports ore and workers from the village to the forest floor. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? We're gonna do, okay, so there's easy, which is enemies are weaker and they cannot attack you with radial menus open. You will not get special items. Enemies are balanced and they cannot attack you with the radial menu open. You will get special items. Or enemies are tougher and they can attack you when the radial menu is opened. You will get special items and more gold. I'm just going to go for normal. Let's do normal because I want special items. I don't know what they are, but I want them. They sound neat! You are Lone Wolf. Your life is not an ordinary one. You assess and counter all challenges with... Make your choice. Okay, now... I stressed a lot the first time I played this over what I wanted to be, if I wanted to be dexterous or thoughtful. And I eventually chose, it's kind of on par with what I normally do, which is dexterous and skilled and fast on my feet and, you know. And I think I'm going to do different. I think I'm going to do thoughtful. You carefully assess the details of any situation before attempting to overcome an obstacle. I want to try something a little different. I'd like to think that this Lone Wolf, has survived as long as he has, not because he's quick or strong, but because he's intelligent. So we're going to do that. And you know what? We're going to choose powers that kind of go along with this. So, mind powers, maybe like mind over matter, maybe healing, maybe, psionic abilities, things like that. I'm going to choose those first, and that's the build that we're going to go with for this game. I might have to run through this game twice. I don't know if I'll record both, but because I love these kind of characters. You rely on dexterity and intuition to overcome any obstacle, but I think I want to try and be different this time. So we're going to do intelligence. Many are the battles you have fought in defense of Summerland, wielding your... Alright, I'm gonna do a sword, because I like swords. I like swords. They're like the middle of the two. You've got... Oh, actually, no, they're the quick ones, aren't they? Yeah, they're the quick ones, less damage. Maces are slow but high damage, and axes are the middle balance. But I like swords. Oh, okay, it's changed a little bit. You assess and counter all challenges with intelligence. Many are the battles you have fought in defense of Summerland wielding your sword. You are more than a gifted warrior. You possess special Kai disciplines that give you mastery of... And then you have the choose between several. I kind of don't like this. I wish it could just give me all of them and let me pick what I wanted. I don't like... Because what if I wanted both of these, you know? But we've got Survival, combines the skills of Master, Tracker, Hunter, and Explorer. Or Healing, restores your health and improves your meditation skills. Now, I'm going to go Healing because of the concept for this character. So we're going to go Healing. And we've got Mind Over Matter, lets you manipulate objects in your immediate environment. Or Mind Blast and Mind Shield transforms your mind into a powerful psychic weapon and psionic shield. Now, see, this is what I don't like about it. What if I wanted both of these because they both fit my character? I'm going to go with psionic... I'm going to go with Mind Blast and Mind Shield. Because I think that fits him a bit more. You know, he's intelligent and psionic and stuff. Alright, then we've got Weapon Mastery. You are able to perform extraordinary martial feats due to the mastery of weapon skill. Animal Kinship enables you to communicate with and influence most animals. Oh, boy. I think... this is what we're going to go with because this fits, like I said, I think this fits the character more. I mean, it's not to say that he's not a skilled fighter. It's that he's more about intelligence and cunning, and I think that we're going to go with Animal Kinship. What we got here? Sixth Sense enhances your natural intuition, helping you identify and counter unseen dangers. Camouflage enables you to blend into your surroundings, enhance your stealth and secrecy. Okay, we're going to go with Sixth Sense. I really want a lot of those. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Don't worry. It's cool. We can always play the game again. You possess special Kai disciplines that give you mastery of Healing, Mind Blast, Mind Shield, Animal Kinship, and Sixth Sense. For Summerland and the Kai! Blar! Alright. Let us begin. This is my story. This is my past. This time.
For many centuries, the Kai Lords defended their kingdom of Summerland from the Dark Lords of Helgadad. Many battles were fought and won by the Kai, but finally came their demise. 3 years ago, the monastery of your warrior order was attacked by the armies of the Dark Lords. The Kai were destroyed. You were the only one who survived the final battle. All seemed lost, but you retrieved the Sommersword, the one weapon that can slay a Dark Lord of Helgadad. You slew Zagana, the Dark Lord leader, and saved your kingdom from destruction. Now, the lesser Dark Lords hunger to take their revenge. It falls to you, the last Kai Lord of Summerland, to crush their evil schemes once more.
Okay. I'm on it. Chapter 1. Blood on the Snow. Yes, I know how to turn pages. Thank you. You are Lone Wolf, the last of the Kai Lords, and so... Okay, my quest was updated. Apparently, I have a quest to read the Lone Wolf. Last of the Kai Lords and sole survivor of a massacre that destroyed your elite warrior order. You would prefer not to be where you find yourself now, in a narrow mountain pass, blanketed with crisp snow, flanked by shadowy timberlands where icy winds whistle through the branches and chill you to the bone. You would prefer not to be here, but duty has called you to this remote part of your domain. You are the friar of this territory, and you are responsible for the safety and security of the hardy Summerlunding folk who live and prosper in this harsh, mountainous borderland. You have received a disturbing report of enemy activity around the mining village of Rockstar, and all communication with the village has ceased. Fearful that the settlement may have been attacked by Gax and other Darkland raiders, you have come here to assess for yourself the true situation. After a seemingly endless trek through snow and ice, you have almost reached your destination. Your horse becomes increasingly nervous as you approach the outskirts of the mining settlement. Aw, horsey. It's okay. The smell of wood smoke is being carried along the chill air, and the acrid aroma unsettles you both. This is not the reassuring smell of smoke that arises from a hearth or furnace in the depths of winter. This is the smell of wanton destruction. Your heart sinks. You have journeyed here as quickly as the harsh weather would permit, but despite your valiant effort, you may have arrived too late. Make your choice. We don't have this discipline. We don't want to waste any time, urge your horse to gallop. Decide to be careful and proceed on foot. Let's do that. The forest clings to the steep mountainside on both sides of the trail. The ground here is very difficult to traverse on foot and impossible on horseback. It comprises jagged rocks and loose shale, interspersed with treacherously deep and narrow fissures, and they are all covered by a blanket of ice and snow. It will be a very difficult route to take, but if you were to always keep the trail in sight, it would be a sure way of reaching Rockstar. You dismount and pat your horse's head reassuringly. Then you retrieve your equipment and personal items from the saddlebag. The horse senses that you must leave him now and go ahead alone. He neighs softly, yet sadly. Fear not, dear friend. You have fulfilled your duty with courage. Now you must return alone to the monastery, where you will be safe. Go as fast as you are able. We shall be reunited there before too long. Your horse lowers his head and affectionately he nuzzles your shoulder. His unquestioning love and loyalty warms your heart. With the last pat of his forehead, you send him on his way, back along the track and the monastery road that leads to the Kai Monastery. The mountain road that leads to the Kai Monastery. You watch him go until he is lost among the trees, and you steel your nerves and resolve to reach Rockstar as quickly as you can on foot. You tackle the difficult ascent with dexterity until you find the way ahead is blocked by a vast wall of snow. This obstruction is the result of an avalanche that swept down the mountainside a few days earlier, carrying with it many trees and loose boulders. The village of Rockstarn lies beyond this great wall of snow and shattered timber. Now I'm going to take a moment to explore what we got here. So this is our character sheet, for lack of a better word. This is our health, this is our, and this is our, I forget what those two are. One of ours are magic, and the other ones are something. Okay, yeah. Here's our actual character sheet. Vitality and Kai Power is what it is. Kai Power is the blue. It lets us use certain abilities. Vitality is just, how tired we are. So our strength is 11, our intelligence is 12, and our dexterity is 12. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. That's a pretty even score, believe it or not. Vitality is our health. Endurance is how tired we get. Damage, we do 350 to 437 right now. We have a 6% chance of critical hit. We have 8 armor, and our chance to parry dodge is 6%. Now, these are our attack abilities. We have our sword is the Asperian, damage 240 through 300, plus 1 dexterity, can be equipped in the offhand. Now, I don't know much about this game. I assume I can get different weapons, and I assume I can carry weapons in the offhand. I haven't seen it yet, but I assume it can happen. Then you've got different types of attacks: quick attack, heavy attack, and combo attack. What's this? Sword Mastery Locked. You have attained an advanced proficiency with swords. With the sword as your main weapon, you will have greater chance at a critical strike on the enemy. I don't know. Oh, I see. I don't have sword mastery yet, but I'll get it someday, maybe. I have a shield that has an armor of 60 plus 50 vitality. Armor bonus applies only when parrying. And then I've got a couple of things I can do with my shield. And then I've got some throwing knives and a couple of things I can do with my throwing knives, which are pretty cool. I've got the Sumisuid, which has one ability at the moment, which is Sunburst. You unleash the power of the Sumisuid on as a surging stream of divine fire, which hits a single enemy, which costs a lot of points to use, but I've got it in case I need it. And these are my Kai disciplines. I don't know if I'll get more as the story progresses. I guess we'll have to find out. I'm excited to see. Alright, and then here's a picture of Lone Wolf. So this is what he looks like right now. Got the Sumisuid on his back. All Kai'd out. Alright, then we've got a couple other things here. We've got, that's our character sheet. We've got our map, which kind of tells us where we are. And, this is where we're headed right now. We're down here at the bottom, obviously. Then we've got our journal. Journal contains additional information, your mission. Okay, so we've got our journal and key items. These don't count in our inventory. They're key items. Generally they're special or different in some way. Like for example, this is our sly knife. We use this for lockpicking. So it doesn't count against our inventory. And then we got the Sumisuid, of course, that again doesn't count against our inventory. So then we've got our Codex. We can go here to read stuff. Our current objective, your long journey has led to a shocking discovery. Rockstone is under attack. You rush towards the village, praying all the while that it's not too late to save them. Okay, so that's our journal. And last but not least, we've got options up here, which we don't really need to worry about too much. But down here, you'll see our belt, and these are like potions and stuff. And right here, you'll see, I don't know what that is, but you'll see our inventory. So right now, I have a backpack with 8 slots, 4 of which are used up at the moment. I've got a potion of Lampspur, which restores vitality and endurance. I've got Freeland Broth, which restores everything. 20 throwing knives and 5 lockpicks, and then up here I've got another Lampspur, and then a potion that restores Kai power, and 2 potions that restore endurance. And then I've got my armor, sword, shield, throwing knives, and I don't know what these are for. I think they're special item slots. I can carry, obviously I can expand or find bigger backpacks, and I can carry other backpacks as well. So, and I've got 30 gold. So yeah. That's that. Oh, I don't need to see Lone Wolf. Alright. So that's that. We're gonna go to... We'll keep our character sheet up, I think. And then we'll keep going. Hey guys, Squee here. Thanks for watching. Quick note, I know now that this episode and the next episode I have a little bit, I'm zoomed in a bit too far and you can't see the quite outer edges of the screen. I fix it in episode 3, but I just want to let you guys know you're not missing too much. I know you're missing kind of you'll miss the health and vitality and endurance bars, but it won't really ruin the experience for you, and I am aware of it. I am fixing it. So yeah, in the corner I'm promoting Project Aeon, which is where you can go to read the Lone Wolf books for free and legally. Joe Dever gave his blessing to this. It's a project where it has all of the Lone Wolf books that you can download and read, and they've got tools to actually help you automate the system and make it more fun. I highly suggest you check it out if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, because it's a fantastic series. So I will see you guys tomorrow.